I used to be like everyone else, casually scrolling and posting on Instagram. My profile wasn't private, so anyone could follow me, watch my reels, and like or comment on my posts. I wasn't a big influencer, just someone who shared bits of my routine online. But one day, something changed. It started with a seemingly harmless comment on a picture I uploaded, a photo of me near the ocean. The account's name was unknown, and its profile had only two selfies uploaded. At first, I didn't think much of it. I figured it was just some random person. But then the comments started pouring in on every reel, every story, and every post. The man who looked to be in his late 40s or early 50s began leaving unsettling messages. They weren't outright threatening, but they gave me an uneasy feeling. I deleted the comments, hoping that would be the end of it, but it wasn't. A few days later, I posted another photo, and this time he sent me a DM. Hi, you're looking hot. I like you. Not wanting to be rude, I replied with a simple thank you. That, I realize now, was my biggest mistake. He messaged back almost instantly. I want to meet you. I'll do anything to see you. That's when I started to feel scared. I responded with a polite thanks, hoping he would get the hint and leave me alone, but the messages kept coming. I will meet you soon, no matter what. I should have blocked him then and there, but for some reason I didn't. A few days later, I uploaded a reel of my house, just a quick video of the front yard. That's when he commented again. You're so sexy. I'd had enough. I deleted the comment, blocked his account, and tried to forget about it, but it wasn't over. One evening, as I was leaving my house, I noticed a black car parked across the street. It wasn't a car I'd seen in my neighborhood before. Still, I didn't think much of it. I got into my car and headed to a party at my friend's house. The party was fun, and most of my friends ended up drunk. Since I hadn't had much to drink, I decided to drive myself home. It was late and the roads were quiet. As I pulled into my neighborhood, that's when I noticed it again, the same black car parked in the exact same spot, right outside my house. The windows were tinted, so I couldn't see who was inside. I parked my car in the driveway, trying not to panic, and walked towards my front door, but something felt off. The lights in my house were off. I never left the lights off when I went out. My hands trembled as I unlocked the door and stepped inside. Using the flashlight on my phone, I made my way to my bedroom. That's when I noticed my bedroom door was slightly open. I knew I had closed it before leaving. My heart was racing as I stepped inside. The room was empty, or so I thought. Then in the mirror, I saw him. A man was standing right behind me. He was tall, in his late 40s or early 50s, and his face was partially hidden in the shadows. Before I could scream, he lunged at me. I ran as fast as I could, heading straight for the front door. I made it outside and jumped into my car, locking the doors behind me. He was right there, banging on the windows, trying to open the door. I started the engine and threw the car into reverse, swerving violently to keep him from getting inside. Eventually, I sped off down the street. My hands were shaking as I dialed 911 and told the operator everything. When I returned home with the police, the man was gone. But his black car was nowhere to be found either. The officers inspected my house and found that he had entered through a window on the first floor. I told the police about the man's comments on Instagram, how he had been stalking me online, and how I had blocked him after he made inappropriate remarks. Looking back, I realized my mistake was posting that reel of my house. I had practically shown him where I lived. The police assured me they would investigate, but I never felt safe in that house again. Even now, I sometimes catch myself checking over my shoulder, wondering if he's still out there, watching. If you use social media, always be cautious about what you share and who you interact with. Never know who might be watching. My name is Finn. Until recently, I thought I had no life together. I worked at a prestigious private firm, had a promising career, and was engaged to my boyfriend William. He wasn't just my partner, he was my colleague too, and recently he'd been promoted to a position of power. We were set to get married soon, and I couldn't have been happier. But life has a cruel way of revealing truths you never wanted to know. It all began during a normal day at the office. William came to me looking concerned. He had reviewed a financial report I had prepared and pointed out a glaring $100 million discrepancy. My heart sank as he explained the error, but instead of reprimanding me, William reassured me. Don't worry, Finn, he said gently. I've sent you a proposal that can fix this. Review it, analyze the report, and I'll handle presenting it to the boss. Everything will be fine. Believed I thanked him. If you hadn't caught this, I might have lost my job. He smiled, kissed on my forehead, and replied, I'll always protect you. That's what we do for each other. Later that day, Anderson, one of my workers, came to my office. He looked unusually tense and apologized for something he had done in the past. He reminded me how William had publicly humiliated him because of me. Before leaving, Anderson mentioned that it was his last day at the firm. He had resigned. I wished him luck and didn't think much of it. That evening, I stayed late at the office to finalize the report. The building was eerily quiet, but most employees already gone. It was just me and my work. Or so I thought. As I typed away, I started hearing faint noises, the shuffle of footsteps, the soft creak of a door. I froze, listening intently. My rational side told me it was nothing, but the hair on the back of my neck told a different story. I called out, Hello? Is someone there? Silence. Then the lights flickered. Moments later, they went out. Completely. My office was plunged into darkness. I grabbed my phone and turned on the flashlight, scanning the room. That's when I saw it. A faint beam of light in the hallway, like someone else was searching for me. My heart raced. I dialed William, my hands shaking. William, someone's here. They've turned on the lights and I think they're after me. Finn, calm down, he replied, trying to sound reassuring. It's probably nothing, just stay put, I'm coming to get you. But before I could respond, I felt something cold and damp press against my face. The sharp chemical smell hit me instantly. Chloroform. Everything went black. When I woke up, my head was pounding. My hands and feet were bound, and I was in a dimly lit, unfamiliar room. Panic set in as I tried to make sense of what was happening. Then I saw him. Anderson. He stood there, staring at me with an unsettling. Anderson? I stammered. Why are you doing this? Why? He laughed bitterly. You ruined my life, Finn. You humiliated me, rejected me, and made me a laughingstock. I'm not letting you get away with it. My mind raced. I tried to reason with him, but his anger was unrelenting. He wanted to humiliate me, just as he believed I had humiliated him. He demanded that I dance for him, a twisted attempt to degrade me. I was terrified, but I knew I had to find a way out. As he got closer, I spotted a wooden stick nearby. Summoning every ounce of courage, I grabbed it and swung it at him. It connected with his shoulder, but he barely flinched. His anger turned into something far more dangerous. He pulled a knife from his pocket and lunged at me. We struggled, and in the chaos, the knife pierced his neck. He stumbled back, blood pouring from the wound. I froze, staring at the lifeless body on the floor. I hadn't meant to kill him. I just wanted to survive. Before I could process what had happened, his foot burst on the ground. The caller ID read, William. Trembling, I answered. Before I could speak, William's voice came through, cold and detached. Anderson, why are you calling me again? I've already paid you. Handle her. She knows too much about $100 million. Once the project is approved, do whatever you want with her. Just make sure she doesn't talk. The phone slipped from my hand as the weight of his words sank in. William, the man I loved and trusted, had orchestrated everything. Anderson wasn't acting alone. He was following William's orders. This wasn't just a random act of violence. It was a betrayal, so deep, so calculated, that it shattered me. Sitting there, surrounded by the aftermath of violence and deceit, I realized the man I thought would protect me had turned me into a pawn in his game.